Breaking news in the NFL. A familiar reunion is happening in Los Angeles. Former Dolphins offensive guard Cole Strange is joining the Chargers. He has agreed to a 2-year deal worth $13 million. This move brings Strange back with head coach Mike McDaniel. The two worked together before in Miami. The Chargers clearly want to strengthen their offensive line, and Strange brings toughness and experience to the trenches. Now the big question begins: can this reunion help boost the Chargers' offense next season? In professional football, some of the most meaningful moves are not always the ones that dominate headlines or generate dramatic reactions across the league. While blockbuster quarterback trades and superstar contracts often attract the largest audience, many of the most important roster decisions quietly reshape the foundation of teams preparing for the long and demanding journey of an NFL season. That reality appears once again in Los Angeles, where the Chargers have reached a 2-year agreement worth $13 million with offensive guard Cole Strange, a move that not only strengthens the interior of their offensive line, but also reunites the linemen with head coach Mike McDaniel. For Strange, the signing represents more than a simple change of uniform. It marks a new chapter in a career built on physical resilience, disciplined technique, and the often overlooked art of controlling the line of scrimmage. Offensive guards operate in one of the most physically demanding positions in football. Their role requires them to absorb constant contact against powerful defensive tackles, while simultaneously maintaining the awareness necessary to react to blitzes, stunts, and complex defensive alignments. The Chargers' decision to bring Strange to Los Angeles reflects a broader commitment to strengthening the infrastructure of their offense. In today's NFL, where defensive schemes continue to evolve and pass rushers grow increasingly explosive, the ability to maintain stability along the offensive line has become one of the most valuable assets any team can possess. Quarterbacks depend on interior protection to step forward in the pocket and deliver accurate throws, while running backs rely on interior blockers to create the first critical gap that allows rushing plays to develop. Strange built his reputation with the Miami Dolphins by demonstrating exactly those qualities. Coaches frequently praised his ability to combine physical strength with quick decision-making, an essential combination for guards responsible for identifying defensive movements before the snap and adjusting blocking assignments accordingly. His experience within McDaniel's offensive system makes the reunion particularly interesting from a strategic perspective. McDaniel has become known throughout the league for his creative offensive designs and his ability to blend speed, motion, and timing into a fluid offensive identity. Systems built around those principles require offensive linemen who can move efficiently in space while maintaining balance against aggressive defenders. Guards must execute pulling blocks, adjust to shifting defensive fronts, and maintain precise communication with the center and tackles on every snap. Strange's familiarity with that environment could accelerate his transition into the Chargers' offensive structure. In many cases, when a player joins a new franchise, the process of learning terminology, protections, and communication systems can take months. But when a lineman reunites with a coach whose system he already understands, the adjustment period often becomes significantly shorter. That familiarity allows coaching staffs to focus on refining technique rather than teaching entirely new concepts. For the Chargers, the signing also signals a continued effort to reinforce a roster that has shown flashes of high-level potential but has struggled at times with consistency in the trenches. Offensive line stability often determines whether an offense can sustain drives over the course of a season. When linemen develop chemistry and communication, they function as a coordinated unit capable of neutralizing defensive pressure and opening consistent running lanes. That chemistry rarely appears overnight. It develops through repetition, film study, and the shared experience of competing against some of the league's most dominant defensive players. By adding a lineman with experience in McDaniel's system, the Chargers may be accelerating that process, hoping Strange's presence can help anchor the interior of the offensive line while reinforcing the team's physical identity. From the perspective of Chargers fans, the move reflects an understanding that successful teams are built from the inside out. While explosive skill players often capture the spotlight, veteran football observers know that the battle at the line of scrimmage determines the rhythm of nearly every play. When offensive linemen control the point of attack, quarterbacks gain the confidence to survey the field, and running backs find the space needed to turn short gains into explosive runs. The AFC landscape continues to grow more competitive with each passing season. Several teams across the conference possess elite defensive fronts capable of disrupting offensive rhythm within seconds of the snap. In that environment, reinforcing the offensive line becomes more than a luxury. It becomes a necessity for teams hoping to remain competitive deep into the season. Strange's arrival could also influence the overall mentality of the offense. Linemen often set the emotional tone for offenses, bringing a level of physical intensity that spreads throughout the roster. Coaches frequently emphasize that football games are ultimately decided by physical execution, and the players responsible for delivering that execution on every snap are the ones battling directly in the trenches. For Strange himself, the opportunity to reunite with McDaniel offers a chance to continue building a career defined by adaptability and persistence. Offensive linemen rarely receive the individual recognition granted to quarterbacks or wide receivers, yet their contribution remains essential to every successful offense in the league. Each snap represents a contest of leverage, balance, and reaction speed against defenders determined to disrupt the play before it begins. Linemen must process information instantly, recognizing defensive alignments while maintaining the strength and technique required to execute their assignments under intense pressure. Those challenges are precisely what define the profession. The 2-year contract represents the Chargers' belief that Strange can bring stability, experience, and familiarity to a unit that will play a critical role in the team's ambitions moving forward. As the next NFL season approaches, the reunion between Cole Strange and Mike McDaniel will become one of the more intriguing storylines quietly unfolding within the Chargers organization. It may not dominate national headlines, but within the structure of the team's long-term strategy, the move could carry significant implications. Because in professional football, championships are rarely built solely on highlight reel plays. They are built on consistency. They are built on trust between teammates, and perhaps most importantly, they are built in the trenches, where players like Cole Strange fight through every snap to create the opportunities that define success on the score.